Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with a growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcasting, the home for indie podcasts and content creators.
Hey, hey! Rise and grind for your daily news. Rise and grind, grinding just for you. Rise and grind when you don't have a clue. Rise, we've got the scoop for you. Yeah.
I like my voice, it throws me off with the double echo.
Wait. What's going on, y'all? Good morning. We are here Monday. Welcome to the Rise and Grind Morning Show. It's your girl, Brittany Chanel, and I'm with Chanie, and we have a very, very special guest in the building with us today. But before we get into all of that, Chanie.
Yes.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was eventful.
It was eventful. I haven't heard you say that your weekend's ever been eventful.
You see what I'm saying? It was
what
eventful.
made it so eventful?
I went outside for a little bit, partook in a little bit of
really?
activity, and yeah,
okay.
I'm here.
You was outside. You didn't tell me you were outside.
I was outside.
Oh my goodness. Hell has frozen over.
No, seriously. Like,
wow.
Felt like a teenager again outside. I'm like, okay.
Hell has frozen over.
It's a new day. It's February. It is the month of love.
Yeah. I ain't got to have all this.
It's the month of love.
I might feel a little different next week. I'll see how I feel.
Yeah.
Today I'm not feeling it.
It's a little shaky. It's okay.
It's very shaky.
You made it.
Yeah.
We made it.
It's so shaky. I'm stumbling every time I stand up. It's, oh my goodness, my leg.
So that's the one. I feel like February starts the actual new year. January is like a little preview.
I feel like it's April. It might be March.
April is when it starts for you?
Probably March.
Okay.
Right? Because that's when spring sets in.
Yeah, warm up
and
a little bit.
It starts getting warm. The snow's melting, even though the snow was melted and then it started back. Yeah. Boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
I didn't like that at all.
It was a lot going on this weekend. Shout out to the Collective Studio. It was a beautiful turnout.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to make it, but I had a lot of my acting buddies that were there. So I felt like I was there in spirit.
Right. I didn't get a chance either, but I did hear that it was very, very nice.
Yes.
So congratulations to everybody that's a part of the Collective team.
I heard so many great things about it. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
Good look for the city.
Yes.
And then what else happened this week? I went outside for a little bit.
Okay.
Then I went back in the house.
Okay.
I didn't stay out there that long. And then the Grammys, I didn't really watch the Grammys, so I know Beyonce won.
Nice.
Chris Brown won.
I saw Glow.
Doechii,
Yeah, I saw a Glow picture of what she wore to the Grammys.
I saw what Kanye had with his friend.
I'm sure that was interesting.
It was.
He never disappoints. I didn't see it, but I'm sure.
I mean, I wasn't excited about it, but I'm sure a lot of people were offended. But you know, it's Kanye.
Yeah, he's always gonna make a statement.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Miles. He's not with us today. He's with us in spirit. He's in Miami doing some film stuff. So. Yes. But other than that, it was a pretty good weekend.
I can't say that.
The drive-in was a little
foggy.
So I had to leave early.
But we made it.
We made it. Thank God we made it. Shout out to everybody that's checking us out. Hey, Miss Monique.
Good morning, Miss Monique.
Yeah.
It's Monday morning.
Oh my goodness. And we here. So anyways, I know that this is the month of love.
Yes. That's going to be our theme for February.
For y'all. I might tap in. I don't know.
Say here and there.
So anyways, I think it's only fitting that you want to go into the topic today. And then we'll go ahead and introduce our guests who we have with us.
So the topic for today is how movies, music, and social media shape our expectations of love.
Oh my Lord. It's a little lengthy. So I want to go ahead and introduce our guest, and I want to hear our guest perspective on that. We're going to introduce, we have with us the director, the producer, the writer, the actor, and now the author, Mr. Teddy Van Gogh.
That was a great intro.
Welcome. I mean, you got all those slashes.
That was a great intro.
You have all those slashes in your
I
name.
think that was the best one I ever got.
Don't be doing that. Don't you do that.
You heard it here on the Rise and Grind.
Thank you. Welcome. Coming and telling us everything. Telling us about the whole love thing and your new book. Your new book, it's Directing Your Dreams.
Yes.
Which I absolutely love that title. How did you come up with that?
Because we all have dreams.
Yes. Some
of us, I think we all do. I think some of us are just afraid to act on them.
You think so?
You know what I mean? I think we all are gifted with those dreams. A lot of people, you're just afraid to act on them. They say the richest place is the graveyard, right? Because so many people died with those dreams they never acted on. So,
that is true. Yeah. That is true.
So I wanted to have something that was inspirational to people to feel like they can pursue those dreams, which is why I give you a guide to how to pursue those dreams.
How to pursue those dreams.
Indeed.
Okay. So, I mean, so you have so many slashes in your name. I mean, you do everything.
I work hard.
Why did you want to add author to this? Like, what inspired you to want to give this guideline for helping people to find their dreams?
Because it was important. And I feel like it was missing. So at some point in time, the gaps have to be filled in. So I feel like, well, why not me filling those gaps? If I have the knowledge, I've invested a lot of time into education over the years. So at some point in time, you have to have a realization, well, I can't keep all of this for myself. So who am I going to give it to? And it's for the world, so why not share it with them? So this is my first installment to my series that I'm going to share with the world about how to make films from start to finish. So that way, for the people that don't have the time to go to school, invest in education necessarily, they can invest $14, $15 into this book and get that education, that knowledge right in their pockets, right in the palm of their hands. You know, especially I made it extremely comprehensive, straight to the point. It's no BS. It can be consumed by any and everybody.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is your first book, but you said that
it's not my first book.
Oh, it's not. Okay, so what is the first?
It's not my first book.
So you've been an author.
Yeah, I've been a published author since I was in middle school.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
so what was the first book?
So I used to write a lot of poetry.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was published on the site called poetry.com when I was a kid, and I used to win awards for my poetry back in the day. So yeah, I've been published.
So you've been destined for this.
Yeah, I've been writing for a very long time.
You've been destined for this.
You know, I just don't speak about a lot of things. You know, I just tend to, keep things close to the chest and just perform actions as opposed to talking. I feel like you get better results that way.
Yeah. Where did your passion come from this? Like, where did the passion for writing come from, do you think?
An outlet.
Okay.
An outlet. So troubled childhood, I don't want to say the typical story, but the typical story. Troubled childhood, needing an outlet to vent.
Right.
You have your pen and your pad. You can write whatever it is you want to write. I was fortunate and blessed, and I talk about this in the book also, I was fortunate and blessed to come across an English teacher who gave me a little bit of guidance, gave me a little bit of direction, and set me on the path. I love Miss Bailey to this day. I haven't seen her since elementary school, but if I ever did, I would love to give her flowers. She was my 5th grade English teacher, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I won my first award in the 7th grade after leaving elementary school. So, yeah, I owe a lot to that woman as far as my creative writing journey is concerned. Okay.
So, with that is that how you tapped into acting?
No.
So how did you? I mean, because you do a lot. That's something like you do so much, right?
Yeah.
So you start off with writing.
Yeah.
So how did you tap into the acting part of it?
So I was fortunate to get a role in 8th grade as Harold in Cinderella. After that, I come from the era where theater wasn't cool.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't cool. Like I'm 38. Like theater,
it wasn't cool.
Yeah, theater wasn't cool. Like if you were in theater, like you were, you know what I mean,
like a geek. Or
I can see that though.
Like a band geek. Is that?
You had to be masculine. Like I'm 6'2", 300 pounds, and I've always been big. I graduated from elementary school at 200 pounds. So I'm always the biggest kid in school. So it's like you can't be like that was considered soft. So you had to play contact sports. So
wow,
right? I know it was.
I've heard that
so
though.
hard being a man.
It is.
It's hard for y'all.
That's the era that I grew up in. You had to
can't do
fight. You
nothing.
had to play contact sports. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
So being in costumes and wearing makeup and stuff like that wasn't okay. So
Did you sing?
He's like, it's funny you asked.
Did you sing?
I'm gonna keep some things close to the chest.
Oh,
Okay, so we can add a comment.
So that means
we can add another comment. Yeah.
I was doing a little bit of singing as well.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So you
had
was
my
a little
times.
bit,
I had my time, you know.
little bit. That's what's up.
So what I allowed society and family and friends to convince me was the better route to take was football. So when I went to high school, I played football all 4 years, made All-State, All-American, went to college, all that, blah, 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 another. Ultimately, my knees ended up going out on me and had to find something else.
Gotcha.
So I told you I've been a licensed cosmetologist for 15 years.
Okay.
I went that route and got into hair. And in 2020, well, I'll go back. In 2018, Renika McQueen used to come to the salon that I was doing hair at the time.
Okay.
And she was making movies at the time. I forget which movie she was making at the time, but I was telling her, like, Queen, you should put me in a movie. Like, I'll be good. I can stand there and cut hair in a movie. Like, I'll look good, too. I'm pretty. You know what I mean? So she's like, well, you're not serious. So one day, she actually gave me a call. This was after the pandemic was off and running. Things were starting to cool down a little bit. Probably like September, somewhere in there. And she was filming a Family Divided, I believe it was.
Okay, yeah.
That's my movie.
Yeah, she gave me that opportunity. She was like, hey, I got a role for you. I need you in a suit. Say
Okay.
less. So I went and got a suit tailored, got a suit made.
Okay.
And that was like when I first got reintroduced back to being on the set. And from then on, I kind of was bit by that bug. And I was like, hey, you know what? As I had already been messing with the camera, but as far as on the acting side, I wasn't like out there. So she gave me that opportunity and I took it and ran with it. Like me and her, every time she see me now, she's like, you said you was gonna do it and you took the ball and you've been running with it. Absolutely. Once I commit to something, I say this is what I want to do, and then I was so overwhelmed with like the passion for this industry. I don't know how to stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got bit by the bug.
Absolutely.
You got bit by the bug. And a lot of people get bit by that bug.
I got reintroduced to the path that I should have been on in the first place, and that's kind of how I've always taken.
That's how you look at it.
Yeah. Because if this wasn't the path that I should have taken in the first place before I got deterred, then I would have never started this journey from the beginning.
Because you said you played football, and you went off to school and you did all these other things. Do you think that you learned things from
Absolutely.
the sport that you could have incorporated with the acting and producing and directing and all of that?
So my company, Pranova Solutions, which parents all of my other companies, is founded on dedication, determination, desire, and discipline.
Yeah.
Which are foundations and roots that I got from a high school football coach.
Yeah.
So absolutely, if I never played high school football, then I wouldn't maybe have the characteristics that I have now to become the man that I am today.
Yeah.
So I always am grateful for that. But, again, things happen with how they supposed to happen. You get to where you're supposed to
That's
get to.
what I'm saying. So I believe you weren't.
The faith.
I don't believe you were deterred. I believe those were things that
had to take place.
For you to get to where you are, right? Because it's very interesting that you said you already were doing it at the young age, so it was already there.
Through college, like
you still, it was always
I always had the best. Papers. I always had all of the best literature. I always had A's in English and everything like that.
So it's always been a part of you.
Absolutely.
It's just other tools were being added to add to the greatness.
I write papers. I've written papers. I used to write papers for fellow students in college and everything like that because writing was my thing. Like that was. If nothing else, I can write and I could talk.
I needed to have you in college because writing was baby.
Yeah, I could write and I could talk. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What
I love to write papers.
Writing.
I was just a procrastinator because I feel like I did my best work under
No.
pressure.
If I had to write a paper, I was writing a paper.
That's an interesting thing, though.
For you.
Yeah.
It took me 3 months to write a paper.
Really?
Because
I know I could knock it out, and that's why I feel like I procrastinated because I'm like, okay, I know I got to get it done. I have to sit here
3
and
months.
do this. 11:59.
You get the syllabus.
Deadline.
They said the paper is due. I'm at home that day trying to get this because my mind. I have so many thoughts, and then realize, okay, this is a talking point. Oh, wait, I got another idea.
Yeah.
It was a struggle.
That's how it flows.
I made it, though. I made it through college.
Yes.
It's rough, but I made it. I made it.
High five to that.
Yeah, I made it.
So are you looking to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said, what school did you go to?
Bowling Green.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Falcon. No. But who you about to say?
Are you looking to grow any more in media, or you think kind of where you're at now with the directing and all?
No, like I am.
Okay.
It's a gift and a curse. I'm one of those people that is never satisfied with where I am. Like,
Oh, wow. Okay.
growth, and I wrote a book.
Yeah.
You know what
I
mean?
wrote a book.
So it's kind of like people like that have the fortitude to do something like that are people that I feel like are comfortable with being stagnant. Like these are the people that are always charting forward, that are always looking for the next best thing. Because again, in order for me to write this book, you know how many things I had to go through to get the knowledge to get to this point. So now when I write the next edition, all the things I have to go through to get to that point. So it's going to be the constant elevation and the constant growth for sure.
Nice. How long did it take as far as writing the book?
Megan,
Exactly.
me that
Okay.
question.
So again, like it's been a compilation of the knowledge. So if it's taken me 5 years, actually it's taken me my entire life. So when you read the book, you would see like the things that I touch on and how real world I make it, right? Yes, I talk about the technical things and the actual resources that you can actually pull from and go to, the tools that you can actually use, right? But a lot of it is like real world application stuff, like that took a lifetime to write. Actually getting the pen to the paper and typing it out and everything like that, probably about 2 weeks.
Okay, that's the easy
Okay,
part.
that was
That's
the easy part.
Right.
But
You just been
gathering
living
the
a
data
life.
and the knowledge,
Exactly.
It's just like music, yo.
Okay.
Like, the best artists, the artists that you love the most, talk about their life experiences. The best authors that you know that write about their life experiences. The things that they've actually put into place, actually experienced, and actually gone through to help the next person not have to go through it. And or at least if they go through it armed with the knowledge that they need to come on the other side a better person.
Yeah, well, it's the same for acting.
Absolutely.
The best actors are the ones that they use their personal experience and have gone through some things because they know how to shift that pain.
Which is why we go back and I can have this conversation with you because you understand Meisner and the purpose of it.
And Ivana Chubbuck, too.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I don't focus on everything else, but I'm in love with Meisner.
You love Meisner.
I love Meisner.
I have people, like, it's so funny because each actor is so different with the different techniques that they do. And I've studied most of them, the popular ones, obviously, and I kind of use a little bit of each.
Absolutely, you have to.
Right, you have to. Like, I don't believe that there's just one way.
Absolutely,
I believe you because they're all techniques.
absolutely.
But then
all tools in your toolbox.
yeah, and it's just like basketball because I play basketball, so it's the same thing. Like you learn the
You
fundamentals.
was the one or the two?
I play point. I was running the show.
I felt it. I felt it.
I was running the show.
It's in the attitude.
And he did his.
He did, yeah. No, but I was running the team.
Okay.
But yeah,
Carried him on my back.
it's like basketball, right? You have the fundamentals, which is what I believe in life, right? I believe you
Okay.
have the fundamentals, right?
Absolutely.
And then you get good with the fundamentals, and then that's when you start adding your own little skills and
Absolutely.
techniques,
That's
and then
true.
your own talent comes in.
Absolutely.
So I look at acting the same way, right? It's just having the fundamentals with each different technique that you learn. And then some people tend to like one technique over the other and they stick to it. But I believe it all works.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but
that's again where this book comes from because it gives an advanced baseline for those who don't have the baseline.
gotcha.
So the whole reason that prior to me going to school for film, I had experience in the field. Like I was telling you, I had been on bigger sets. So I've been on sets like BMF.
Okay.
I had an opportunity to talk to the DP. I had an opportunity to talk to the director. I had an opportunity to actually get hands-on and figure out why they move, how they move, how they move, how they move. Right?
They moved quickly, didn't they?
Surprisingly, no.
No, okay.
So those sets are a lot slower, a lot more meticulous.
Because it's like well, that is a series too, right?
Right.
So it probably is different on a
But
series.
then at the same time, you got to realize they move a lot slower too because they have the time to.
That is true.
So what's fast for them is not fast for us. In independent world, we're making projects in 7 to 14 days. I'm totally against the 7-day shoots, but you can sip your tea on that.
As you see, I did.
Okay, no pun intended.
As you see that I did. No shade, no tea.
None at all.
Yeah. That's how you do it. Yeah.
But you have to move
at the quality too.
Literally.
Absolutely.
You don't have time to
let's not water down the quality.
Right.
Yeah.
So when they have 3 months to film a project and they have a whole day to film a scene, you don't have to move as fast.
That is true.
You move more meticulously. Like I watched them set up blimps and all these different things for Meech to come in and shoot one scene and be done for the day, and they have 3 or 4 cameras on him moving around at this time.
Yeah.
So that is what my earlier experiences were.
Gotcha.
So when I say like my standards are a little bit higher, that is where they're rooted from. So I've had the opportunity to be on sets with Five Stewart, who's done 4 or 5, actually more now, Netflix projects. I've had an opportunity to get in close quarters in contact with her dad, who is the head of SAG.
Gotcha.
I had an opportunity, not the head of SAG, I'm sorry, but was a legal administrator for SAG.
Okay.
So I have the knowledge to pull from that when they're telling me what to do and what not to do, because one of my first projects was a union film and not a non-union film.
Gotcha.
A lot of people don't understand the difference in those.
Yeah, that's
a lot more stressful. A lot more stressful, especially when I was the one that was in charge of the legal aspect of it.
Gotcha.
So when I say like my experience kind of plays, because there's a whole piece on there about copyrighting your material before you send it to a producer. I wrote a whole chapter on that. And
people stealing ideas and all types of things.
And making sure that your chain of title is in order. Because people don't even understand what that means or know what that means. So like when people send me scripts, I'm not opening it. And I tell people, I've actually had a few conversations over the last couple of weeks. I'm not opening your script until you have it copywritten. Open an email, until you have it copywritten. Make sure everything is in order. I give the steps to do so right in the book also.
Gotcha.
So again, it's one of those things where the book serves as a piece to say, hey, these are the things that we need as far as just the standards. Let's have the standards in place and in order, so that way we can use that as the pedestal to get to the next level. I just want to be the standard with this piece.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
I know I went off on a whole rant.
No, you're fine, because I was going
to talk.
No,
you're fine.
No, you are totally fine. So, like, with being in the independent realm, because obviously we're here in the city right now, and that's what's happening, though a lot of the union projects and SAG projects are coming here, and they will be here. Do you feel like with the independent film industry here that they're not really trying to have a standard or a guideline, like they're just doing how they choose to do it?
I don't even feel like it's that they don't want to or not trying to. I feel like some people just don't
They just don't know how. Okay.
So in any field, in any profession whatsoever, right? I use hair as an example, right? There are some trash barbers. Love them to death. There are some trash hairstylists. Love them to death. But they've been in the game for 20 years. They've been frying people's hair out for 20 years.
Yes, that is
you see what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah.
It is what it is. There are some younger barbers, younger stars that come in and are killing the game. You know what I mean? The difference is, and this is not every case. There's case by case basis or whatever the case may be. Some people have the foundation, some people don't. I am a firm believer is who you learn from first.
That is true.
Whoever your mentor is first is who you're going to mimic. So when I came into the hair game, I had one of the best, I feel like, mentors in the hair world. So he taught me what to do and what not to do, how to do and how not to do. He taught me, hey, if you want to have higher class clients and you want to retain them, this is what you need to do. This is how you present yourself. This is how you speak. This is how your presence needs to be. So I had that foundation laid. In the film industry, I feel like there's a disconnect from the foundation. And so many people were just like, hey, I got some money. I want to make a movie. Everybody that I know is making a movie. Here you go. Help me. Because a lot of times what happens is those same people get messed over. I actually was on a set last year, which wasn't my set. I just happened to just show up just to show my support. And the guy felt like he was being raped because he didn't have the knowledge to do it. He just had the money to do it. And the people that were tied to that project, not all of them, but the main people that were tied to that project kind of jerked him around. And that project ended up coming to a halt. You see what I'm saying? So it's not so much that we don't want to have a standard, it's sometimes we just don't know what that standard
What the
is.
standard is.
So that's why this book serves as, okay, if I don't know, I can get the book and at least figure out what it is that I need to do as far as the standard is concerned. I'm talking about literally all the way down to how you format a script. Your margins, your bullet points, your fonts, and everything. Bolding or capitalizing the character's name the first time that they're seen. Like I'm talking about going into detail.
You into detail.
You know what I mean? Like having a script that's turned in when you go to present it to somebody, to anybody, whether it be your cast, your producers, or whoever, there should not be any typos. You should actually have grammatically correct scripts.
Yeah.
I cannot say that enough, and I don't care who gets offended by that.
Yeah.
You should have grammatically correct scripts when you turn it in. All you have to do is click a button in Final Draft that will correct every grammatical error in your script. And I hope people hear that loud and clear.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
I have to put emphasis on that because of my writing background.
Yeah.
But your script should, and again, I understand the content that people want to make in Detroit, which is great. It's fine. If it works, it works.
It works, yeah.
Cool. So the profanity and whatever. I prefer not to write scripts that's full of profanity, but whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
The script needs to be written so that way it's grammatically correct. That's all I ask.
That's all you ask. It's like, if you want to cuss, just cuss correctly.
Okay.
Jesus, put the collar.
Put the
Cuss word. Put the collar.
And it's so easy. Again, it's a click of a button.
Yeah.
But some people may not know that.
Well,
Exactly.
it's also important to have someone else look at your script as well.
But that's another
Script
thing that we talk
actors.
about in the book, getting feedback.
Yeah, it's important.
People feel like people are going to steal their stuff. They can't steal your stuff
if you copyright it.
You copyright your material and protect it.
Yeah.
So I hope people hear that.
And that's why it's the first step that you require before it being looked at.
Absolutely. So I talk about that also.
Yes, and actors, make sure someone looks at your reel too. Get more than one person to look at your reel. Get
Fresh
feedback,
eyes.
fresh eyes. Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
we hate criticism, but
it's constructive criticism.
it's criticism. It's never constructive.
I mean, it's to help you be better. It's not talking down.
Yeah,
it's necessary.
It's a matter of changing our perspective of what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's never constructive. I don't care what nobody say. It hurts.
Yeah.
So let's just say it's
cool.
gonna hurt.
Now, have you had it where you've given the necessary advice for the change and the director or the producer or whatever is solely sold on what they want? Do you still work with that, or how does that go?
Oh, like somebody who's like, no, I want it written like that. No, I want it said like that.
Outside of the grammar part.
I pick and choose my battles.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I pick and choose my battles.
That's how you know he married.
That's a fact.
That's how you know he's married. Men, listen,
that is good. Yeah. He's already got
I just want to say that louder for the people in the back, aka Dorian. That's how you know he's married. Please go on.
Yeah, so I pick and choose my battles. And it's not even so much that I don't fight battles that I know I can't win or that I know I can win. Mm-hmm. It's more of, is it worth me wasting my breath?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, is this message going to actually get across as to, okay, well, why is it? Especially one, when I'm talking for one, so when I talk to certain people have been doing this for 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. So it's hard to have that conversation with them and have them look at me and say, yo, you've been only doing this for like 5 years. I got more material than you. How can you going to tell me anything?
But you have more knowledge.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the difference.
But how can you translate that?
Yeah.
How can I say to you, I have more knowledge in a certain particular area without having a piece of material that you can go and reflect upon that'll show you exactly what I'm talking about is real. You can go cross-reference everything I got in that book with any sources you want to pull from and see that I'm not FOS. And, hey, this material is actually credible. That is the thing that I started to realize probably about a year ago. Okay, these conversations that I'm having, if I was to say something to make a correction about it, what do I have to stand on?
Gotcha.
What leg do I have to stand on? Now
and now you have a book.
And I could just be like, here you
that
go.
is directing you to your dreams.
Exactly.
Direct your dreams.
It's directing your dreams. So where can people find this book?
Amazon.
On Amazon?
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's for sale on Amazon.
And how much?
Website. The paperbacks are $25 and the ebooks are $15.
Nice.
Okay.
Very affordable.
Nice.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, indeed. And you can go through my website as well, www.iamprenova. That's PRAENOVA.com.
Okay, and they can get the book from there as well. So it's already out. Everything is, we can go ahead and purchase this. Directing Your Dreams. A practical guide to filmmaking.
Yes, indeed.
So how did you get on like the bigger sets? Because you said you worked on BMF and things like that. Like, how did you, like, is it people that you know?
As an actor.
Oh, you got on as an actor?
As an actor.
Okay. So are you SAG?
No.
You're not SAG. Okay.
No. So when they call for the background actors,
okay.
I took advantage of them opportunities. For sure, I'm going. Because it's a way for me to get on set, for me to learn.
In those rooms.
And then for me to absolutely get in those rooms, to make those connections. Like I got on the BMF set and I got cool with the PA.
Okay.
And he took me around, introduced me to everybody, just because I was there. So as opposed to me only being there for that one day for those couple hours, I had an opportunity to be there with them when they were here in Detroit.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So I had an opportunity to learn from this. I had the opportunity to actually shake these hands and actually make these genuine connections with these people. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay. Yeah. So out of all the things and the jobs that you do, which one do you feel is the most challenging for you?
Being a husband.
Oh, okay.
Being honest.
All right.
Being honest.
My goodness.
Well, it's being real just because, again, it challenges you as a man. It makes you become a better man. So nothing that I'm successful at or I'm good at in any capacity outside of that is not influenced by that. You see what I'm saying? My wife is my backbone, like legitimately. And everybody who knows me knows that's the first thing I'm going to say. Like, if it's not for her, then nothing else matters.
Okay.
I can't do anything else without her. And that's just what it is. So I always give her the utmost praise. I always speak about her. When you see me, most of the time you see her. You know what I'm saying? So nothing else. That's the most challenging. It's I had this conversation a couple of days ago about everybody think that if you're a real man, then you're just naturally a real man or a good man. Like, no, you have to put work in for that.
Yeah,
like I have to show up every day for my wife to be a good man for my wife. I have to be honest with my wife every day to be a good man for my wife. So I have to work on that experience first before I can work on anything else. So I always give the credit to that. And I always say that's the most challenging because that is the first thing that challenges me. I can't be fake with her and then go out to the world and show y'all something else.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
And I personally take that seriously. So when my wife shows up and I'm saying something to you and you watch her on the side, because I watch Kevin Gates when he said, if you want to know who a man really is, you look at his wife when he's talking.
That is true. Because it's all in her face.
That's real.
It's in her body language.
So when she's sitting right next to me and I'm saying what I'm saying and I'm speaking it as confidently as I am, and you check over at her and you see that she like, yep, that's pride for me. That's the most challenging thing for me.
Gotcha. Well, I definitely wasn't expecting.
Yeah, no.
But since you said that, I do want to go
answer.
I do want to go into because of the topic today. Because it's talking about do you think or how does film, social media, and all that shape the expectations of love and that we see today? Because relationships today they real shaky. Yeah. It's real shifty out
They're
there.
Not lasting.
So do you think that the movies and music and social media, all that plays into it?
It can.
You think
if you
so?
allow it to. I have a unique situation at home, and I'm very, very honest with people about that when I have relationship talks. Like, I'm 1,000% honest with my wife. Like I've told her everything from day one. I told her what I was, what I'm working to not be every single day.
This was on the first date?
This is like day one. Like I told her exactly what she was getting into. Now we get later, we get years down the line, and she's like, "Oh, you told me that, but
I didn't think that.
Out of experience and to really know." We had that conversation quite often. It was like, "Yeah, you told me that, but damn, I gotta really, it's really like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm legit. That's what it is."
So, okay. So how long have you been married?
This is year 5.
Okay, 5 years. Nice. Okay, y'all still early. Y'all still
but they trucking along.
Y'all in there. Y'all still in there.
Pandemic together. The pandemic.
That's what I said. They trucking.
Well, because I know a lot of people that got
didn't make it
because of the pandemic.
They had to be at home together.
Yeah. So y'all made it.
3 years.
Yeah.
Pandemic
Seriously.
3 years on everything. So it's really 8 right now.
So that's my next question. How long were y'all dating before y'all end up getting married?
I met my wife June.
Get it right.
I met my wife June 2018. I proposed to her December 2018.
Okay.
And then we got married in 2020. September 2020.
Wait a minute. So you met her June? You said June 18?
June 2018.
And you proposed in December?
Like 5 months. Yeah. I told her on the first date I was gonna marry her.
Because a guy knows. It don't take a year, 2, 3.
It don't be taking all that time. 6 months.
A guy knows.
But that's just me.
Yeah, that's why I said I got a unique situation.
Yeah, because
I was able to see how she received the information that I was giving her. Like again, I put it all on the table. Like I'm like, this is what you're going to get. This is what it is, and this is I can't be anything else.
Did you put it all on the table because you knew that you knew you were going to marry her? Or like you knew she was like the wife for you? Like, is that why you put it all on the table?
She can validate this, what I'm about to say. I put it on the table because for the first time I actually wanted to have a righteous relationship. So it was more of a personal thing for myself.
There you go. Okay.
I wanted to personally say, you know what? This time, because I wasn't nothing prior to her, and I'm 1,000% honest about
Well,
that.
you play football.
Yeah, absolutely. And I fully,
As soon as you say football, I already knew. You play football.
And I fully exploited that opportunity in my life. I'm just going to be honest with you.
You don't have to. You play football. We know.
Right.
But those are all the things that I was honest with her about.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it ended up protecting me in a lot of situations because I'm so honest with her. So like you can never go to my wife and say anything to her.
Because I know,
Because like I know for a fact he's going to come and tell me before you have a chance to.
And honestly, I believe that it should be, right? Right. Because I feel like as a wife and a husband or boyfriend and girlfriend, other people should not embarrass me.
Facts. That is the biggest thing for me.
Don't embarrass me.
I never wanted my wife to feel embarrassed.
Yes.
Like that's like a huge thing for me.
Yes.
And you know, obviously we make our mistakes, but one thing that I try my best to never have her be in a position where she's embarrassed. I'm big on that. So yeah, that's why I operate how I operate. Again, that's more of a personal choice though. It's a me thing. Like I woke up one day and I said I wanted to be a grown ass man, and I chose to take the steps to do so. And one of the biggest steps in doing so is I have to be honest with the woman. For one, she lays next to me every night. She's the only person that could take my life at any given moment. Like, let's be honest, that's real. And that's trust.
Yeah.
I close my eyes next to you every single night. You could slit my throat in my sleep.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
So, Lorraine about it.
So it is what it is. So how can I not be 1,000% honest with that person? How can I not, have that person trust me 1,000%? So, but that was a grown man decision that I had to make when I.
Yeah, and obviously, because a lot of people now with the whole dating, people are wearing masks, right? And some people don't have intentions. Right. So, like, attention and intentions are two different things. And a lot of people just want attention. They don't have intentions, and I think a lot of people are getting that confused. I do think for some people, like you said, it can, but I think like it's pushed, especially like Disney movies with like little girls looking for a knight in shining armor and he's gonna come and rescue us. You know what I mean? And then like rom-coms, even though I've had a few rom-com moments. You said you had a story about how
I bet my wife kind of.
Can you please tell us the story?
I guess
in a rom-com way.
I guess you can kind of say it was rom-com, but anyway, it was just more like just me being me, like legit. Like so, me and my wife worked out at the same gym for years.
Telling people go to the gym.
I'm telling you for sure. We never actually crossed paths with each other at the gym. I have videos years before me and my wife ever met of her son in the background of my videos.
Wow.
Which is crazy. So we look back at it and like, that's my son. That's crazy, right?
My goodness, that's crazy.
You wouldn't say the alignment.
So one day she posted a video. She was walking in the skirt. Legs, I was like, okay. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going through my liking picture phase, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then she posted a picture of her squatting. So some of y'all might cringe at this, but it is what it is. She's still with me to this day. She posted a picture of her squatting, and so I jumped in her DMs. I said, damn, that back shot looked good. And we've been married ever since.
He was intentional.
Take your shot in the DM. I mean, you just never know. You just
go to the gym and keep your DMs open.
I told Chanie, I'm like, people need to go to the gym. Yeah. Like, just go to the gym. Be focused. You never know who's watching.
No,
you just never know. Go to the gym.
Don't be looking crazy on the machines. If you don't know how to use it, ask for help.
Go to the guy.
How you do this?
Yeah.
But some guys really be focused in the gym, so I don't.
They do. If they headphones in and they locked in.
Yeah, some dudes really be focused, so.
Just catch them when they spraying the stuff to wipe down the equipment.
It's sanitation phase.
just catch them in.
What I tell ladies.
They got one ear back.
Just be cute. Wear your leggings. They always make you look good. And make sure that you are focused. at least look like you focus and do the Stairmaster. I always say that too.
You can't mess up on that.
Listen, I go to the gym.
The biggest part of my experience, I told you, my background is in sales and management, so I used to run gyms for a living, and I could tell you stories
about what happens in the gym life.
What goes? You probably need to do a movie on that.
Just listen to me.
That could be a good idea.
I got a lot coming.
Okay, so what is next after the? Obviously, we have the book that's out. People can go ahead and get that on Amazon. What about film? Are we doing film? Are we working on a series? What's next when it comes to that?
Corruption 2 is sitting in, developing.
Okay.
I'm also working on the series as well to follow off of that.
Okay.
I am also working on a project that I'm really, really focused on right now. It's called Overpass. And this one is I'm in love with the rose that grew from the concrete jungle stories. So
okay.
Yeah, so this is about a man from Highland Park who got caught in a terrible situation based off of the circle he was raised in and couldn't find himself pulling away from. And I wanted to tell that story about how he actually was able to regather his life and turn everything around. So I feel like this is one of those stories where, again, we're not all trying to shoot everybody up. We're not all trying to kill everybody. You know what I mean? I want to talk about the stories that show us in a more positive light, in a more pro-masculine black male light. I feel like it's important. Like, we get demasculized, demasculinated so much on TV that it kind of sickens me. Because me and my wife sit there and talk about, like, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I am like the most pro-woman person that you will ever meet. Like, I support black women in everything that you guys do. And we can be masculine and still do so. I don't have to be feminine. I have my feminine side because we're all human.
As you should. Well, it's the same for women. They have the masculine side. Yeah.
But I don't live in my feminine side. I live in my manly, masculine side, which allows my wife to live in her feminine side.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's how I feel like the balance is created and everything like that. But I just want to show us in those particular lights. So this particular story called Overpass, we're looking to get that made this year. And that's one that I feel like, that's my Jordan Peele welcome to the world type of story.
Nice.
Gotcha.
So I'm looking to really push it down that lane. And I speak a lot on film festivals in that project, in this book also.
And that was my next question. Like, how important do you think film festivals are?
Festivals are extremely important for networking, if nothing else.
Okay.
Just because you can get yourself in front of, like, I had the opportunity to meet what is her name? She made the Martin movie.
The Martin movie. Which Martin movie?
Oh, goodness gracious, the black lady. I know her name. It's pissing me off. I can't think of it right now because I just had it in my head. Anyway, I was able to go to the Toronto Film Festival last year, and I was actually able to meet her. Ava DuVernay. There we go.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I love Ava DuVernay.
Yeah. She is gorgeous in person, just a beautiful person, beautiful aura.
You could feel it through the screen.
Meet her down in Toronto last year.
Okay.
And that was like a beautiful experience and a life-changing experience for me. I just literally woke up one day and just drove out there and had the opportunity to be in her presence to actually sit.
Nice.
It was when she was running Origins through the circuit.
Okay.
Last year. I don't know if you guys seen Origins yet, but it was a
but I know about Origins.
Yeah, it's a really, really good one. There's a lot of history in that. Like, I didn't know a lot of that.
She's big on that.
Yeah. That's kind of the space that I want to go into.
Yeah.
Because that is important to me.
Yeah, I want to work with her, and I love her story because she started off, being a publicist and doing things like that, and then she trans over into film, and she wasn't even really doing it that long. Like, she didn't even have that many years of experience with it, but she obviously had the knowledge and took it and soared with it. Yeah. So yeah, I love her story, but yeah, I definitely want to work with her. Nice. She's one of my. So that's dope that you got that opportunity to meet her. Nice.
It was brief, but it was life-changing.
It still was a connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it wasn't by accident.
Not at all.
Yeah, like you said, you just woke up.
Yeah, and you went down there.
Yeah, it was placed in your spirit.
4-hour drive.
Nice.
4 hour drive. It was beautiful.
My goodness.
I love traveling to Toronto.
That's Toronto.
If y'all don't go, y'all gotta go. I love Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, I've been
Toronto
there.
Nice.
I like Toronto.
Yeah.
Just don't go in the wintertime.
No, I went in the summer, and I went a couple times in the summer, and did horseback riding and all type of things like that. My goodness, I had a great time.
That's that one around
Toronto is lit.
Yeah,
it is. It's a lot of stuff to do.
It's lit.
It is. Like, me and my wife, the first time we took salsa dance and salsa lessons was in Toronto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so one of our earlier dates was we went to Toronto. We took salsa. We took a drink mixing class.
like a mixology type of thing.
Mixology class. We had the opportunity to do that, and that was like,
yeah. But those get you pretty lit.
It was 4 hours to get there, but it took us like 9 hours to get back.
Y'all did that mixology?
No, we was in a snowstorm.
That's why he said no winter time.
We had to take the streets back home.
Really?
And not the freeway.
Back roads. Yeah, the roads were blocked off.
I never even pictured Toronto having back roads and things. 'Cause I'm so used to just like a freeway.
We were in the country. This is outside of Toronto. This is through the country. I'm telling you, we took the back roads all the way.
We just would have been over there.
Yeah, we gonna stay a little bit longer.
We just gonna be over there.
So how do you make the difference, or make the decision if something is just gonna be a movie or a series, or just gonna be one book or a series? How is that determination made?
It depends on the story.
Okay.
So I guess you could say the rule of thumb is if there's a story that you can't seem to flush out in 60 to 90 pages, which, obviously a page is equivalent to like a minute on screen. If it's too much story to flush out in just that amount of time, then that's telling you it needs to be a series because there's more that you need to tell. Like it's more character development that needs to happen. There's more focus on the development that needs to take place. So that's usually the rule of thumb when it comes to that.
Okay.
So when you're writing, do you just write by yourself or do you have other people that you write with? Because I always say I think it's important to kind of have a writer's room.
Yeah. Most of the time, so this year I have 3 workshops that I just launched.
Okay.
So the first workshop is going to be an acting workshop. The second workshop is going to be a screenwriting workshop. And the third workshop is going to be a directing workshop.
Okay.
Actually, there's going to be 2 more following behind that, but I haven't ironed those 2 out yet. But for this month, for February, March, and April, there's 3 separate workshops that are going to be rolled out, right? Going into the writer's room. This year, I want to build my own writer's room because I can put out more material if I have more material. Because obviously, I can sit back and I can write on my own, but if I have a team that's actually working with me to flush out these stories, then that's even better. So usually my writing process is I'll write it, then I'll either have my wife read through it or I'll have one of my partners read through it and see how it feels to them as consumers. And then I'll make the adjustments based off of how they feel because I write extremely vividly. So usually my first draft is extremely drawn out with action, so you can actually see the story from a consumer standpoint. And then as we get closer to what I've learned is as we get closer to production, I'll take out a lot of the action that's unnecessary and have the original script as my script, but the script that the actors get as the actual acting script because I don't want to direct them too much on the page. I save that experience from when we get on set.
Gotcha.
You know, I told you I'm extremely hands-on, extremely hands-on. I'm right there with you. Even down to when I cast, I spend an hour on the phone with each one of my cast members, building a relationship with them. Their relationship is extremely important.
I agree because I feel like as an actor, it does set the tone for how everything is going to be, and it lets you know the vision of where the director is going, and then your vision of what you see with the character. So I like that you get to work with your vision as well as the actor's vision. Some people don't do that. They don't.
I'm extremely collaborative,
and I'm glad that you said casting, right? Because I believe it's 80% casting.
Absolutely.
Right? And I don't think people realize how important it is to actually cast and put people together and do chemistry reads with people. It's extremely important, and I don't really think people really pay attention to that. Absolutely. You know what I mean? It sets the tone for the entire project. When you meet and put actors together that this might be their first time meeting, but it's like they've been knowing each other forever. It just brings a different energy and a different project. It brings a different project.
Absolutely.
Overall, you know what I mean? Absolutely. So you can actually feel it, and then you fall in love with those characters and you fall in love with those people because it's like, dang, they love each other. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Another huge part of that too is when we're on set, I have to be able to trust you, and you have to be able to trust me. And I'm, again, huge on that.
That seems to be your foundation, like just being honest and open with communication and trust and things like that. Like that seems to be like for you across the board. That's like the foundation for you.
It has to be like I invest a lot of time into that because that's important for me. Like, you have to be able to trust me because you got to know. Like I love Tia. Tia was probably one of my best experiences dealing with an actor.
Okay. Shout out to Tia.
That's so dope. Yeah.
So for one, I say that because I grew so much from my earlier project to that particular project, and I knew how to be in the moment with her.
Gotcha.
Tia also knew how to take what I was saying and develop it, the character, into who it needed to be. Even so much that, because Miss Kim, shout out to Miss Kim, was on set while we were filming. Miss Kim was like, "There's some things that's not in the script that I didn't tell you that I said in these particular moments." That she said exactly how I said it, almost in those particular moments of the scene. Like she was a phenomenal actress, phenomenal. Like when I tell you, like once you guys actually see that project, once it actually finally comes out, like the emotion that was behind that piece, Silent Scream. Tia brought so much to that. So she was, she actually personally helped me grow as a director also.
Gotcha.
And showed me how important it was to actually, Meisner, be involved
in the
those
moment.
moments. And that's another reason I sit behind the camera. I don't sit in Video Village. So I don't even know what Video Village is like. I give Video Village to Ian. Ian goes, puts himself off in a corner, does what he does. You know, I'll come check on him to make sure he's good. But as far as that, I'm in the moment. I'm with you. I need to know how you feel. I need to know what you're thinking. I need to see what you're thinking. You need to know that you can trust me. If there's nobody on this planet that got your back right now, you know I got you. And that's the relationship and the trust that I have to have with my actors.
Yeah.
So,
And that is it. I was just gonna say that it shows on camera.
Yeah.
Like you can tell if you watching film. You can tell like if the actors trust one another or not. You can tell if they're really listening or if they're in sync, right? Because acting is reacting.
Absolutely.
It's truly just listening to what someone is saying. Like some people here, they believe like, okay, you start yelling. Oh, I'm about to yell.
Right.
You're not listening. You know what I mean? Because it didn't cause for that. It's like, did you really hear what they just said? I don't think you heard what was just said.
A lot
So
of the
it's
misconception is too, like, again, a lot of people aren't trained to actually to listen.
yeah, it's hard to listen though.
Very
Like,
hard. Like, it's
just
challenging.
for us to be in this room and have a conversation. You know, like we're listening, but are we really listening, or you're listening to respond? So even in relationships, are you really listening, or are you listening to respond? It's
That's
the same.
Such a bar. But
It's
that's
the
a bar,
same, right? Because women will say something, but internally we're feeling something else. So it's all different. It's communication.
Yeah.
So it's really being present and really being in that moment. Like a woman, she said something, but that's not what she really said.
Exactly. Take a deeper dive.
Same with men. It's like he said something, but wait a minute, he didn't really say that, right? So it's difficult to even act and listen, not act. It's difficult to even listen in just real life.
Right. But a lot of, and I'm not even going to say Detroit, but in the independent world, period, a lot of actors, like there's a handful of actors. Like it's a kid from Alabama, I forget his name, but he was on Dennis Reed's. Shout out to Dennis Reed. He was on Dennis Reed's last project, and like I listened to him actually read in rehearsal. I can't wait to see the performance, but I actually listened to him read in rehearsal, and I can hear him actually listening to what was being said by the actor, as opposed to just reading what was on the script. And there's a huge difference there.
There's a major difference.
That a lot of people don't quite understand yet because it's not being coached to that degree yet. Which again is why
That's why you wrote the book.
Series of books, to actually give the tools to the directors, to the actors. And also, again, like I consider at this point in time, with the knowledge that I've obtained, I consider myself an expert in filmmaking. So I can have conversations with them, and I can have conversations with people who have been doing this for a while, and they'll actually listen to me.
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying, you can actually hear that it's authentic, and you can actually go and research it. But now I have a piece that you can actually use for research to say, yeah, it is what it is.
That's true. Well, again, we're all still learning.
Absolutely.
Everyone's still learning. I remember a few weeks ago, I was just telling people when you do close-ups, right, they cut the head off, obviously, because they want to see what's going on in your eyes. But if you notice, the actors don't even blink. And I don't even, unless it's a natural blink, right? Some people don't even really pay attention to that or notice it. Now, since I've said it, everybody's like, no, I see what you're talking about. It's something so simple as that, or just what color, or just things in the background and the shirt that you may wear.
Makes
like
a difference.
Everything plays a part. So that's why, like,
some of the
we're still learning.
Is an editing technique, though. I don't know if you.
It is editing. So the editors, I learned that.
Yeah,
I learned
that's
that's a really good editor. They try not to use a lot of the blinking. But as an actor, it's powerful, right? Yeah. Because when you're in a scene with someone, eye contact is extremely important, which forms a connection. Yeah. So sometimes you're on set with actors who don't understand that, and it's hard to connect because they won't look you in the eye. Yeah. So it makes it difficult sometimes to work with people. But again, you have to work with what you have and do your part. Absolutely. But yeah, when
that's all we can do.
Yeah, that's all you can do. But when you meet a trained actor that understands and studies Meisner as well, that connection and that chemistry is, oh my goodness, it's powerful. Who is that true? Okay, I was wondering.
No, you're fine. So what would you say is the biggest difference between writing and directing? Or is there a lot more similarities than differences?
It's not a lot of difference, period, because no, there is. There's a huge difference. The difference is emotionally.
Okay.
Because I can't, on a script, lead you emotionally. I can't tell you what to feel. I can't tell you what you're thinking. My job on the script is to just, hey, this is what's happening, right? When I get on set or when we're in rehearsal, I, at that point in time, have to ask you. I don't tell you what you're feeling. How are you feeling in this moment? I want you to think about that. Now, don't tell me how you're feeling. Show me.
Okay. And then
show
that's when
the
it
camera.
Comes out.
And so these are the conversations that I have on set with my actors versus, writing the script. Because, again, the script that you get as an actor is going to be extremely vague. Like, hey, you tapped on the table. Why are you tapping on the table? Because I just told you to tap on the table in the script. But why are you
have to be motivated for why are you tapping on the table?
What's your backstory? Who is Catherine? Where is she from? What was her childhood like? You know what I mean? So these are the questions that I'm asking as a director, not telling. A lot of people, not even on any level, a lot of directors go wrong by telling people what they should be thinking and what they should be feeling, as opposed to acting. So like when a lot of actors that I'm working with that come up to me, like I had one particular situation on corruption, and he was coming up to me, he's like, well, what should I be doing and thinking in this moment? You tell me. You're the character. These are
this is
people.
your life.
This is your world. These are the people that you are for this time. What are you thinking in this moment? What's causing you to tap on the table? What's causing you to sit back in the chair? What's making you sit back and retreat from this conversation as opposed to engaging more? What are you trying to gain from this situation? What do you stand to lose in this situation? So these are the conversations that I'm having with
the actors. Yeah, as you should. Hey, caller, we got a caller. What's going on?
What up, dog?
Oh, we didn't want to talk to you today. What you want?
Good morning.
Who's that, Mom?
Yes.
My guy, what's up, bro?
We were having so much fun, and then here you come to mess up the party. Jesus.
Well,
did you make it safely?
No, I'm at the airport now.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
What's going on?
Yeah. No, I was going to tell Teddy that I'm going to a place, Teddy, where you should be at.
Okay.
I was going to have your number, but
Miles, stop BS. Stop. You want some BS because you got my number. And if you ain't got my number, you connected to my cousin directly who has my number.
Okay, but now I need for Brittany to give you my number.
Okay.
Because it's a place I'm going with Netflix, Apple TV, Paramount, and everybody's going to be at. Okay.
That's where you at right now this weekend, or you talking about something coming up in the future?
That's where he's headed today.
You telling me I need to get on the flight right now?
Oh, honestly, I can see you. I can get you a pass.
Make sure you.
I'm gonna have her send you my number. You call me.
All right. Yeah. All right. No, but the topic is the movies, like tricking people about the romance or the love. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of fallacy in film.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's entertainment at the end of the day, but some of it is really real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be real, but I'm gonna say us. We fall short. There's a lot of things that we be looking for in a relationship. We don't come to the table or the back doorway.
Give me an example.
Like flowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and our community don't get flowers that much. By the time we get flowers, it's because we're trying to make up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what I mean. We don't take the initiative a lot when it comes to courting or getting our women.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of that, sometimes you don't know how, or you've never seen it. So how can you do something you've never seen?
I mean, that's a good excuse.
I mean, I don't really necessarily think it's an excuse. I mean, we talk about it quite a bit, right? We got a lot of the children growing up just in single parent households. So if they never seen daddy do something, or you know what I mean, they constantly see mom and dad arguing and fighting. That's what they're thinking it is and what it looks like, as well as in our movies, it's being shown to our children. Yeah. Like, I had this conversation the other day. I think we were talking about it, Miles. I said, our kids, I was upset that my niece is always watching other people that's not black all the time, which nothing wrong with it, but we don't make nothing for our kids to watch.
Yeah.
We don't make anything for our kids to watch and sit and enjoy. They sit on YouTube watching all these other kids. Yeah. They don't see themselves. We're not making it.
Yeah.
Going back to what Miles said, though, I side with that being an excuse too.
And what Miles said, you think is an excuse?
Because I grew up with a single mom. I was raised by all women. I never was taught how to treat a woman. That my mom, wasn't married or any of that stuff like that.
But that's a decision that you made.
That's a decision that you have to make. So you're going to either just like if you come from poverty, are you going to continue to be broke and make that as an excuse because nobody taught you how to make money or what financial literacy is, or do you take advantage of the opportunities with Earn Your Leisure? Shout out to Earn Your Leisure and all these different platforms and stuff like that teach you how to be financially literate. But
you also said something too. You said you went through a lot of nonsense and BS before you even got to the point of you wanting to make the decision of being an honorable man.
I got tired of being the man that I was, which led me to becoming the man that I am.
Yeah.
But you went through something though to get there.
Yeah, we all go through something. No, so that's why I say it's a choice. We have to make that choice to say, yo, I'm no longer going to be this person, or I'm no longer going to go through this, or I'm no longer going to continue to live like
so do you think, had it been the opposite and you had a male in the household, would you have went that route?
Who knows?
Okay.
You never know.
Gotcha.
It kind of is what it is, because there are also studies that show, like, you can have a stable father or what's the famous study where the father was an alcoholic growing up and raised his sons around that, had two sons. Mm-hmm. One chose to do exactly how the father did. The other one chose to do the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. It's a choice.
I agree. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not. I just think seeing it more, I feel like you might gravitate toward more is what I'm saying. I think it's easier if you've seen it is what I'm saying.
Representation.
Yeah. What are you saying, Mom?
I would say this: the first time I met Teddy, I met him and his wife together, and I was like, that's what real love looked like to me.
I appreciate that.
They wasn't all on each other, but you knew that was his wife, and you definitely knew that was her husband.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, and I told you that I have respect for you for that alone. And what I try to explain to people is, when you dealing, I mean, you brought up something, like I said, excuse-wise, Britt, we making excuses the same way people make excuses in the film industry. They're making the same damn movie over and over and over again. You know what I mean? They can take time to find out what kind of cruise they're going to go on and trips to Atlanta to have fun, but they can't take time out to learn what they can really learn from in the industry. Those are the excuses. There ain't no, I ain't know it exists. You got to ask ChatGPT. What's the next film? What's the next film and conventions coming up? And it's going to tell you. Mm-hmm. There's no excuse no more. We living in the no excuse world. Unless you say you lost a leg or you about to have brain surgery or whatever, we live in a no excuse world. You don't have to be taught how to do nothing no more. You can ask Siri, hey Siri, how you spell this. You can be the most illiterate person, and you can ask Siri, "Hey, what do linguistics mean?" And it'll tell you. So we got too many tools in life to have excuses.
Oh, I agree. I never disagree with that. I mean, me and Miles don't disagree on that one. Other things we do.
Yeah.
And when dealing with movies, not do the films. Also make some BS films that show men disrespecting women and women disrespecting men. Hell yeah. And those are the ones we wind up gravitating to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We see that. Sometimes, the other stuff they think is not real, or it's like, I don't believe in that, or that's a fairy tale. Like, you have conversations with people that believe that.
Listen, we've been believing in fairy tales since we was 2.
I still believe in fairy tales. I listen to Anita Baker.
Yeah, but she can't even sing no more.
Shut up! I can't stand you. I still like fairy tales. I don't care what you say. You got
you can't sing when they start calling you auntie.
Fully.
I can't stand Miles.
But the truth is though, dealing with movies and things like that, I'm glad you got Teddy on there. I'm glad that you're on there because y'all are 2 people in the industry I definitely respect, and we need to get to telling real stories, even with good endings, and even if they have a bad ending, make sure it's a godly ending or message to be told in it. That's all. So,
okay. Well, thank you, Miles, so much.
Thanks, Miles. Have a safe flight.
Most definitely. Hey, Teddy.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, can we get you and your wife on one of these shows? We talk about love, marriage, and all that.
That's for sure.
And how to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Show up every day and make a decision.
Yeah.
I agree with you at 100%.
That's the whole show right there.
That's what I was taught.
We doing it this month, so get with Chanie and see what we can book. I prefer. Yeah, Chanie already know what we talking about. So
I'm gonna see if I'm gonna show up to the party. I'm changing my mind about love. I made a decision.
It's gonna be your year. Look, it's gonna be your year.
I received that. No.
Somebody who's too scared to even say something to you. He like a female version of Chanie.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But he like more than chicken tenders. All right, then, y'all.
Bye, Miles.
All right, Miles. See you soon. Bye.
I'll send you the number. How you gonna go?
He got up out of there quick.
Okay, bye. Come and destroy our party. We got a video?
We do.
Okay, we're gonna go to a video and then we're gonna come right back. You are checking out the Rise and Grind Morning Show.
Yes.
How does social media impact the love life nowadays too, man?
Ain't no love life.
Damn.
Look, if you already married and you've been married a minute, save it.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Yeah.
Ain't no need to see all these divorces and shit you see, all this shit be going on with people. That shit comes from people not being or knowing who they are. Like, you supposed to know that I'm not ready. This is not gonna work.
Yeah.
But you know why they doing it?
What?
Because they want to be couple goals, or they want to be a goddamn.
Goals.
They want to get the streams and the likes and shit on.
Niggas hate the hell out of each other.
Bruh, can't stand them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But I've been seeing this shit for so long. That's why I never went that route.
Yeah.
Bitch, you not finna fake love me.
Ooh.
Oh, fake love.
You ain't finna fake love me, bitch.
Come on.
You
Come
feel?
on. Don't fake love me.
And I would let you think that you're fake loving me.
Yeah.
Until your ass find out that, bitch, you wasn't no love here in the first place.
Love don't live here no more.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful. Like, first of all, bro, you gotta know the game.
Yeah.
With anything, you gotta know the game, especially when you out here and you ain't got a wife and you gotta make sure you picking. You gotta make sure you picking the right one, bro.
We talking about what we talked about earlier.
You gotta pick the right one, bro. Anyways, welcome back. How'd y'all feel about that video? You have something to say about? Well, you're the married one at the table, so is there a right? Like, how do you know what to pick right? How do you know when you're picking right?
I mean, for starters, you don't pick. For starters,
okay.
Let me reframe that. You pick yourself because you have to choose to be who you need to be. So before I met my wife, I chose to be a husband. I made that decision that, hey, I'm going to work on myself, correct myself, and make myself a valuable husband for the woman who finds this situation. And then me and my wife ended up finding each other by the grace of God. I told you we had been in the same space for years and never actually crossed paths.
So you believe that you needed to be a husband first before before you meet a wife?
Absolutely. Like my wife was a wife before she met me.
I believe women usually are wives before they're met.
No different for the man. I have to choose to be a husband before I meet my woman.
That's interesting that you say that because biblically it doesn't say that. It talks about the wife always. It doesn't necessarily talk about the husband. And I wish Miles was here because he believes that you grow into becoming a husband, but you say that you make the
It's the same thing. You have to go through something enough to make a decision, or be bred into that, which is still you making a decision, or you not being bred into that and not having those examples. Like I never had those examples, but I made the decision that I wanted to be a good man. I wanted to be a good husband. I want to be a good father. Like Ice Cube said it, and this is his famous quote right now. How y'all been together for 32 years? Because we want to be.
I believe that.
We wake up every day and make a choice that this is where we're going to be every day.
I believe that. I believe if you're with somebody, that's who you want to be with.
Like me, and again, I told you, I talk to my wife directly and clean and straight up. I can go out and cheat if I wanted to. I choose to take my ass home. I choose not to step out. She could do the exact same thing. She chooses to come in the house. She chooses to do everything she does. One of the biggest things in our relationship is I've never forced her to do anything. I don't believe that you should have to force anybody to do anything. We have to make the decisions to do the things that we're doing. That way it's natural, it's actually authentic and genuine. Like,
another thing too that you've mentioned that I can tell you having a relationship is trust, right? And
we got so much.
It's so interesting because I was having this conversation the other day, and I was talking to someone. I was like, "You trust your husband, and he trusts you. You guys do not give each other a reason not to trust." I said, "That's beautiful, and that's why you're free in your marriage because you guys trust each other." And I think that's just so important because a lot of people just don't trust.
That comes with you knowing yourself, though.
But I was going to take it right back to that's how I believe you pick, right? You pick you first. And then that's how you're able to kind of pick what works for you. And it goes back to knowing you. And I said it on Todd's show. Even you can say because you're married, I do believe that marriage is a mirror, it's a reflection of you. Everything points back to you. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I doing? Because I'm sure you get upset with your wife, and sometimes it's not even her, it's you and what you're dealing with. So I believe the best marriages work when you are better with you.
Well, I hold men to a higher standard regardless.
Okay.
Like I feel like it's all of our fault one way or the other.
You think so?
Absolutely. Like there's no
if we go biblically,
there's no relationship or there's nothing that happens in a man's life that's not his fault. Like we want to be honest with that. If somebody screws you over, it's your fault. You chose to put that person in your life, or you chose to trust that person to put them in a position for them to screw you over.
Gotcha.
Whatever the case may be. If you got your heart broke by that girl, you probably shouldn't have been pursuing her anyway because you knew she for the streets. You see what I'm saying? Everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, it kind of points back to us. There's no situation that happens in a man's life. If you're broke, you're choosing to be broke. It's perfectly fine. You've made a decision somewhere along the line. Maybe you did it unconsciously and unknowingly, but you still made the decision. So you have to take the responsibility. I wrote a whole book on responsibility for men. That has yet to come out yet. I
was gonna say, is that out yet?
I'm being patient for that one.
You being patient?
That one is going to be, a rock star. But
do you think
it's also about timing for that one too, because not a lot of men are ready to hear this conversation.
That was my next question. Do you think men are ready to hear that? Because it seems sometimes like some men, it doesn't seem like they're in a space of hearing that the responsibility part.
Because that's you having to take accountability for you. Like everything that happens is because of you. Like I'm sitting here right now because I did something to be worthy of sitting here in front of you ladies. And it's such an honor to be here. You see what I'm saying? But I put myself in a position to be like, okay, well, it's something interesting, or it's something that, could be spread, or it's a person that I may want to talk to, or whatever the case may be. I did something to put myself here. Like if I was just sitting at home tucked away and didn't do nothing to the world, y'all never know who I was.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I took the steps to be in the position that I'm in any situation, good and or bad.
That's true.
So we have to take the full responsibility for everything. We always want to take the responsibility in the grace for the other things we do good, but never want to sit back and take the responsibility for everything that we do bad and that put us in the worst situations. It just is what it is. I'm very, very hard on men. That's why I don't have a lot of male friends, because I'm going to tell you the truth. Like, no, you FOS, bro. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like take your ass in the house. Like, why are you out in the streets?
Thank you.
Why are you calling me about girls and you know I'm married? Like, why are you talking about something we gonna do this, that, and other, bro? Nigga, you got a girl at the crib too, but you wonder why you can't keep her happy. Because every weekend you trying to go out to the streets. So I'm that person that's gonna tell you that. Like, no, don't call me with that BS. So I've fallen out with a couple friends just because of that. Especially like right after I got married. Like, yo, don't call me for that BS.
Yeah, it's not the same ball
Yeah.
game.
So it's like I understand too. I know what I was. So if I'm in a situation of vulnerability, I can't sit there and say I'm going to be strong enough to pull myself out of that situation. So I would much rather just not put myself in that situation.
That's smart.
Gotcha.
And I'm very, very honest with my wife about this stuff. She knows it. These are the conversations that we have.
That you guys
and
have.
I feel like every relationship should have these
I
conversations.
think you should,
Yeah.
but
because these are the tough ones.
in order to get there, trust, I believe, has to be there.
In order to get there, you got to be right with yourself. Because at the end of the day, I'm not worried about my wife leaving.
Gotcha.
I can't be. I personally cannot be. At the end of the day, I have to know, at the end of the day, if she was to ever leave, I did everything I possibly could have done to make sure that everything was done the right way.
So even, let's say, I just want to put this out. So even with you saying that, and let's say you put it all out on the table and she walks away.
She had plenty of opportunities to do so.
Let's say I'm talking about just from day one.
Yeah, for sure.
For day one, you guys weren't married and you had put yourself out there and all that stuff was done. You would be okay with that because you put you out there is what you're saying.
I never would have known what it would have become, so I would have had no choice but to be okay with
Gotcha.
it. I wouldn't know what today looks like if she had to walk away.
So is it fair to say, because I believe that is a risk that you have to take, and I believe that relationships and love and all of that, it's a risk, and I believe you have to be willing to take that risk.
Every time you make an investment, it's a risk.
It's a risk, right? Yeah. And I agree with what you said as far as having you together, because at the end of the day, if that was the case and it didn't work out, you did your part.
Absolutely.
And you could walk away knowing that you did everything that you needed to do for you. So I definitely respect that. And I do think maybe people need to start approaching it that way.
Yeah,
but it goes back to you and having you together and making the decision for yourself.
Don't get me wrong though either. It's one of those things where you do kind of have to mature into.
For sure. I'm not saying just, hey, let me tell you all my business today. Like, no.
Make that decision, because growing up, like, you kind of hear like from like the older guys that's like the age that I am now, like I'm 38, that was like, yeah, man, you just tell her the truth and everything would be cool. But at 20 years old, I don't know what to think. I'm about to lie her pants off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because people think that that's the easier route, but being honest to me is easier.
Like the funniest,
because can't nothing hit the fan at the end. Eventually.
Well,
that is the craziest thing that you say that, because I was in a situation with my wife that could have turned extremely bad for me if I wasn't honest with her in the beginning. Because I had a relationship with somebody that was extremely close to her way prior to her, but I told her about it once I realized what the relationship and the connection was. Because I love y'all to death, but I know how women can be.
Yeah.
And you could be in a situation where she could just be, for whatever reason, like, yo, I did such and such, and if she never knew that and I never armed her with the information, there's nothing I can say behind it.
It would have been a shock to her, because it would have been like, well, what was the need to keep this?
Well, not only
even if I didn't keep it, it's just the fact of somebody brought something to me and told me that she could. I don't know what she could have said. She could have been like, it just happened. She couldn't have told her the time stamp on it. She could have said it just happened. Now to her, the first thing that goes to her mind is like, when did it happen?
Exactly.
You know
it's that mind part.
Yeah.
It's the mind that bothers us. Yeah. And I love that you do that, because that's really what it is for us.
Yeah.
It's our mind. We live in delusion. And,
for sure. I got three girls. I got three daughters.
And I tell people on the show all the time, like, I work to stay out of delusion. You know what I mean? I have to do a lot of self-talks before I really, like, wait a minute, let me get myself together. And then I don't want to go talk to another delusional person. You know what I'm saying? I got to get myself together first, because sometimes our mind can play tricks on us.
Yes.
So I took out all of the
questions,
guesswork.
yes.
I took all that out of it, and made it so where she can just focus on what's in front of her and not have to focus on anything else. Like literally, there's nothing that you can go tell my wife that she don't know. And if it is something that you can go tell her that you may know, then at the end of the day, it kind of like, I trust him enough to know, like, Yeah, it may just slipped his mind. He didn't tell me that particular situation.
Right.
He's told me so much. I'm talking about we've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Like I had a girl drop a whole baby on me. Like, so the first 6 months of our relationship was like event after event after event. And that first 6 months, a girl dropped a baby on me and talking about she was pregnant by me. No way possible, right? Mm-hmm. The G shit that my wife did was, all right, we're going to wait and see what happens.
Right.
And don't get me wrong. She didn't say that off the rip. It took her a second to go back and think about it, like if it was worth it. But she was like, you know what? We're going to see what happens. Come to find out, the girl calls back. It was February 2019. The girl calls back, was like, yeah, I just missed you, and I just didn't want to see you happy with somebody else. Say less, fam.
Okay.
So you about to come over here and try to mess up what I
but that just made the significance of why they weren't a thing
because you're just lying.
I can't make this up.
So can I ask you a question? Let me ask you this. Do you have to process something first before you go tell your wife, or you immediately go?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to, and I still do to a degree now.
Okay.
But we have the relationship now where it's a space where I can go to her and tell her what's on my mind, and it's also a space where I have to go to and tell her what's going on. Mm-hmm. Because now if I don't tell her, then now it's kind of like I give her a reason to question everything else.
Okay.
So I have to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Like, yo, I'm and I'll be 1,000% with you on everything right now. I even go to my wife and say, hey, yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm in a space like I'm kind of having like lustful urges, and you know what I mean. Like we have those conversations.
Yeah.
I feel like that's been a huge benefit to us because that gives her also an opportunity to make the corrections or whatever the case may be, and we go from there. But if I just say, yo, this is how I'm feeling, for whatever reason, and I just go act on it, then now I kind of take her power away from her and embarrass her, potentially embarrass her, stuff like that. So I don't ever want to put her in that position, in that situation. So I man up and say, yo, like, this is kind of how I'm feeling. Like, nice. It was one day I was working at a salon out in Southfield. And I'm talking about it was every Barbie that you can ever think of was coming through that door that day. I said, babe, I'm not gonna lie to you. Today's one of them days. Yeah. Like, yo, and they keep popping their head in my room. Like, I don't know what it was about this day. Like, every one of them would pop their head in my room. Hey, how you doing? Mm-hmm. One of them was like, you hungry? I said, I'm about to call my wife.
I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm calling my wife. I said, babe, you need to come up here right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's lunchtime.
But at least you did that.
At least, you're honest
because some dudes will be like, hey, I'll take that lunch, and then still get, So.
Well, even the fact that your wife can receive that, you even say that.
That's the other part.
Just as a woman, just to hear it, it's like, well, wait a minute. Deep. But for her to say, it's not me. Mm-hmm. That's mature. And it's dope that you can do that. That's trust. That is trust.
That's also
it's trust.
Comes from me telling her what I was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, she has a deep understanding of what I was prior to her.
So in her mind now it makes sense.
Right.
But the beauty is that she's not internalizing it and saying, "Oh my goodness, this is me. I gotta do this. I gotta do this."
She's like, I understand my husband. So for him to have the strength to come to me and say that to her, it's like. It's honor to her. Like, yo, I'm honored that he actually came to me and said that because I know for a fact that he would go left if he, chose to do so. Mm-hmm. So I take pride in that being the foundation of our relationship. So.
That is real.
That's a real relationship, not just the goals and the pictures. No,
I feel like that's trust, and you definitely you guys are living it and walking it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're not really hearing that or seeing that. I know a few people that have a similar relationship like you, and that's what I said is trust, and it is a beautiful thing to see. So I definitely love that, and again, it goes back to self.
But it also goes back to representation because it's not a lot of us that represent that kind of relationship. So it's important for me when I have the opportunity to speak on my wife and the way that I speak on my wife, to speak on my wife the way that I speak on my wife, because that type of relationship doesn't get represented widely for us to actually see as a reality.
Or people don't believe in it. They believe that they believe like, oh, that's a fairy tale. That's a fantasy. Oh, that's just one in a million. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I love that you display it because that lets people know like this is a real thing.
Yeah, it can actually happen.
But the difference is you have to put the work in because that takes work. Yeah. What you're saying, even for your wife to receive that, like as a woman, that's you know what I mean. Like it's not tough in a sense because she understands. But if you didn't give her the context, I'm sure it would be hard to process.
But it's all that's part of storytelling too.
Yeah.
Going back to the book.
Yeah.
Like if you give the audience the context when you actually lay it out for them, they understand it, and it all makes sense. It's like, okay, I understand why he or she is doing what he or she is doing. They don't have to tell me. I understand this because I've been given enough information to actually think for myself and actually, fully take on the story. So,
And that goes
going back to
into-
directing your dreams.
Yeah. And character development.
Character development.
That's where all that comes, like you said, my why.
Yes, the work.
The work that goes into building the character.
Speaking
and
of,
things like
in the back of that book there's a workbook that goes along
That's
with
what
this book.
I was looking at.
Yeah, there's a workbook that goes along with that book. Now, in the paperback book, I provide a couple worksheets from the workbook because those are two that I really feel like are the most important, which is the director's notebook for the directors and also the character development for the actors and the directors, because some people don't necessarily know the questions that they need to be asking to break down these characters.
That is true.
Now you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Another thing I learned too when you're reading for character development, when you're reading a script, read what other characters are saying about your character. That gives you a little bit of the insight of who your character is. Yeah. So when I tell people read the script, read it more than once.
Yeah.
As you have
That's in the book.
you have
she must have read it already. Read it 2 or 3 times, maybe
read
more.
it. You want to know why? Because you have in the actors world discovery moments, right? And then sometimes when you're on set, you have discovery moments.
Those are the most beautiful too. When an
you
actor
do
actually has
discovery.
that in front of the camera during the scene, it's like, oh, that's how you felt, and that's actually
And
captured.
discovery,
Like Tia had a couple of those moments, and that's why I said I love Tia to death. Like, it was like, oh, and it was like so authentic, and it was like so real. It's like, and she just stayed into that moment, stayed into that character, and just let it be.
Yeah.
Like, yo, Tia's probably one of the best actresses that I've worked with to this day.
Nice.
So,
Shout out to Tia. Tia. That's what's up. Yeah. Having those real moments, and I feel like that's what some movies are missing today. They don't make you feel anything. Like I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, they don't have to miss it no more because all they gotta do is go get directing your dreams.
Yes, because that's what made you fall in love with the movies and the whole process. It made you feel something, right? Like even when I tell people when they do the sex scenes, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It wasn't necessary. I didn't feel anything.
We can go down a rabbit hole with that one.
Yeah, I didn't feel nothing. I was distracted. You know what I mean? Like, so thank you for writing this book.
Yeah. Go get directing your dreams on my website, www.iampraenova.com, PRAENOVA.com.
Also Amazon.
Yeah, if you go to my website, it's going to take you straight to Amazon.
And how much?
The paperbacks are going to be $25 and the ebooks are going to be $15.
And you could get that today.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Yep.
Right now.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and go to another video. Go get the book. Go get
I
the
am
book.
going to, let me get up out of here.
All of what is portrayed within our movies and within our media of what life is supposed to look like forever and ever. I think that through all of that influence, we have, without even recognizing it most of the time, we have a expectation or an imagery of what we want our partner to be. And we put that expectation on them. And then when they don't live up to it, we get disappointed and then we withdraw. And it's that expectation has come from everything that we're talking about. It's what has been subtly trickled into our psyche to believe reality to be. And it's not. What reality is the person that stands before you. You are you. You can only be you, and for me to put an expectation on you to be something else that is in my head is setting myself up for failure, and it is also demising our relationship. It's devaluing you as a person, and it's going to essentially tear us apart because I'm always going to be disappointed because in my mind you should be here when in reality you're there.
So that kind of like seeing the potential in somebody and they're just not reaching it. So you're hoping that I'm going to be somebody that I'm not.
Yes.
So you're almost in love with somebody who doesn't exist.
Right.
Social media has created this whole illusion of options that people have now, as well as unrealistic expectations, because you're seeing things that aren't reality. You got women seeing these women be given lavish gifts and trips and all this stuff, and now they're looking at their man like, well, you ain't take me nowhere all year. What's going on, right? You got men looking at their girl that can't live up to the standard of the IG model or whatever and not being able to appreciate what's in front of him. You got a lot of people just getting lost in what they're seeing online, and it's distorting, again, people's perception of reality and how they approach dating and relationships. But I also think that the internet takes advantage of people's emotional state. And so with that, with now TikTok and Reels and little short clips, people are getting triggered and falling into the trap of just this clip that's completely out of context. But you take it out of context properly, you can create a whole new narrative. And now people run with that and push that, and again, just creates more chaos and nonsense in the dating world.
I pray that my love for you is bigger than what my parents have.
So you must be my daughter's new friend?
Candy, let me ask you a question.
Oh, so this him? This the man that comforts you more than me?
Mama, all men ain't like daddy.
That's not fair.
Every athlete, every person, every human being has an opportunity. Some opportunities don't come when you want them. But if you're prepared, good opportunities can happen. Always be ready, because you never know when your number is gonna get called.
I'm not coming back.
Amy Apparel, encourage me, I'm young.
Amy Apparel, encourage me, I'm young. We be trying to encourage Chanie because she is young. But yes, shout out to our guest.
To be around you guys.
Shout out to our guest, Teddy Van Gogh. He came through dropping gems.
Thank you so much for
y'all
coming
go
and stopping
get
by.
that book, Directing Your Dreams, A Practical Guide to Filmmaking.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So at any point that you cannot take the actual classes, this is kind of an alternative for you.
Absolutely.
And still be able to get that knowledge and exposure. So.
Absolutely. Hey. No.
Look, I'm like,
what's going on?
It's a
You want to come in and give us your expertise on
what?
Relationships?
If I had some expertise, maybe I'd have it.
No. So the topic is how movies, music, and social media shape our expectations of love. Do you think that plays a part in that? We want to hear from the doctor's perspective, the doctor view on it. We have Dr. Sabrina in the building with us, ladies and gentlemen.
In the building for all of 5 minutes, because I really do have another show to go Zoom on.
Yeah.
However, absolutely movies, music, and social media shapes our expectations. I do a training called Essential Love Styles. And Essential Love Styles is one to help you understand your personality type and then to understand the personality type of your mate. Because I always say your mate is your earth angel.
Oh, really? Why do you say that? What do you mean?
Oh, yeah. Your mate is your earth angel. That's your person.
Okay.
And you should be better because you know them, and they should be better because you know them.
So, well, I do remember you coming on the show and you were saying like those personalities are different. So, like if one is like kind of hyper, you tend to get someone that's not as hyper.
Right. Or may not be hyper at all.
So that's the same with what you just said. With
yes, absolutely. Because your what? What's blocking my face?
The microphone. There you go.
There we go.
So absolutely, opposites attract for a reason. There's a thing called yin and yang. There is something that if I'm strong in it and I get together with someone, if we're both strong in the same areas and weak in the same areas, when we go to attack the world, we're going to have difficulty as a couple attacking the world because we're both weak in the same areas. So really, God designed it so that where I'm strong, he may be weak, and where he's strong, I may be weak. And whether that's with being social, whether that's my intellect or being intellectual and liking data and research. So you need all of these things to make a difference in the world and to navigate the world. So when you get together with your person, they're going to have opposites. And so when you understand that, you stop trying to make them be you.
Yeah.
You really understand that what they bring into the table needs to be at the table.
Yeah.
Now, how do you navigate that? And so I will say that movies, music, and social media absolutely shapes and impacts our expectations of love. Because one of the questions I ask in the workshop is, what is your favorite movie couple and why? Okay, that's the question.
You what if you have two?
You can have two. That's fine.
Okay, so for me, from a different world, I love Dwayne and Whitley.
Okay.
That's
Dwayne
one.
And Whitley. Okay.
And then I like Aladdin and Jasmine. Yeah. I'm a little,
Okay, and what's
that's
yours?
one.
I like the couples from My Wife and Kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One D.L. Hughes. Is that D.L. Hughes?
No, that's the Damon Wayans.
Damon
and,
Wayans. Okay. And Tisha Campbell. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite comes from a movie.
Okay.
And y'all might not even know it because y'all are children. Is Bonnie and Clyde. And Bonnie and Clyde is a movie about they were gangsters. He was a bank robber. And so whenever I say that, people go, but they got killed. And it was based off of a real story.
Yeah. I know the story.
And so I love the fact that they were ride or die for each other. When I tell you where he went, she said, I'm going. And he says, no, baby, you got to stay here because it's going to be dangerous. I'm going. And whatever she liked, he made sure she got it. So I remember she liked poetry. So now this big gangster with all these guns and shooting at people would lay in a field and have her lay on top of him, her head in his lap, and he would read poetry to her. So sometimes the thing you look at and you think one thing, something else is true. So you have to know for you what's going to work for you. And too often we look at things and say, well, that's going to work for me. Well, no, I love the story, but I don't want a gangster.
Yeah.
No, I got you. I don't.
No, I got you.
I don't want to be,
That's right.
dodging bullets and things.
Yes. Well, that's why I tell people the actors don't work. I'm an actress. I don't really like because I'm
other actors.
Yeah. So when a guy is really noisy and it disturbs me.
Yeah, and so you have to know. And so I'll say this, and then I'll leave because I got to go and get on this call. There's 4 things that I think that are necessary to be in a long-lasting relationship. The first is crave. I gotta want you. I gotta want to touch on you. I gotta want to sit next to you. I gotta. When I see you, I gotta go.
I want you.
Bring it over here, sir. I want it.
I need to be stopped right now. What? I need to be stopped.
Yes.
I keep telling people
that. You gotta have it. The second is connection.
Yes.
And what happens is people will have crave and not have connection, or have connection and not have crave. You absolutely need both.
I believe that. I honestly believe
connection is I get you. We laugh at things. We just get each other. I just want somebody to just get me. I don't want to have to be Dr. Sabrina all the time. I need to be Bree Bree. And with my man, I need to be Bull Bay. I need to be the feminine, soft, giddy little. I need to be giddy.
Yeah.
I love that giddy feeling with my man. My man.
Yeah.
My man.
Yes.
And then the next C is communication. You have to, and communication is a big, broad thing because sometimes people just need to be heard. That don't mean you need to say nothing. And you got to know when to just listen. Because listening is a skill. Hearing is a bodily function. I can hear you. That don't mean I was listening. So communication is very, and your nonverbal communications. I could tell you I love you, but I'm grimming you. But your nonverbal is so important. And then that last C is commitment. And commitment is different from couple to couple. What it takes for you to be committed to one person may be totally different than the necessary items for another person. So what people do is they drag things from old relationships or old examples into new spaces. And you can't do that. You have to develop what's going to work for this particular relationship. And so those are my 4 C's, but I keep saying I'm going to add a 5th one. And the 5th one would be change management. Because the one thing that's absolutely going to happen in your relationship is change.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And how do you navigate it? What I was at 20 when you met me is not who I am at 50. And there's been a lot of iterations of Dr. Sabrina in that time. And if you've rocked with me and rolled with me, then you've learned how to navigate the changes as I've learned to navigate the changes. I'm different when my mother was living and now my mother's gone.
Yeah.
I'm different. And so the person that you with has to be able to ride that roller coaster with you and understand how change is going to impact your relationship.
That's so good.
I think Dr. Sabrina should come back.
Look, I'm like, that's so good.
I have one question with the crave part. Now, let's say, because you said you can have connection and not have crave, but you have to have both. Is at any point, if you have the connection, does crave come? Or it's just one of those things?
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I had a lady that was in her 70s. I was speaking at a women's retreat, and she came up to me afterwards and said that the Lord told her she could tell me her truth. And I'm like, okay, mother. She says, I've been married to my husband for 50 years, and I've never loved him. She says, I got kids by him. I did everything I was supposed to do as a wife, but I've never loved him because who I loved, my family did not like. So I went with what my family pushed me to and not what I wanted. She says, but I want to love him before we die. So I gave her some things to do. And at first I was thinking in my man, because I think I was in my 40s at that time. I was like, how the 70-year-old coming to me. And then the Holy Spirit just says, tell her what you would tell anybody. And that's what I did. And I said, Mother, sometimes you just need to put something soft on and go sit next to him and let him rub on you. And you rub on him. And let me tell you something. Because this particular conference, I was speaking every year. And so the next year, when I went back to speak, she was there. I did not recognize her. Because when I first saw her, she was very matronly. No makeup, hair pulled back in a bun. Well, when I saw her the next year, she was super duper fly. She had on makeup. I didn't even know who she was.
That is great.
But when she awakened that part of herself and opened herself up to the possibility, then she was able to get there. So you have to want it. And it's possible, but you have to be intentional about it.
Gotcha.
Okay, y'all. I love y'all.
Thank you so much for dropping that.
Thank you so much.
We're going to have to have you come back, though, because I love that.
Yes, because February is the month.
But I tell people that all the time, and people think I'm crazy, but you have got to want your person.
Definitely.
I don't care what you say. I want to want you. Sure. I mean, you ain't got to be the fattest thing in the world, but you got to be fat to me.
Yeah.
I want you. I want to talk to you. I want to look at you. I want to touch you.
Say the whole nine.
The whole nine.
Yeah, because you have to think about it, especially if it's going to be for years upon years.
I have to be in your presence. I have to spend time with you. I gotta.
Yeah.
I need to want to look at you. Okay. I'm not the person that's like, oh yeah, he got to be fine.
Right.
No, I have to look at you. You ain't got to be the finest thing in the world, but you got to be fine to me.
That's what makes
you can
all
be
of that
ugly to
difference.
everybody else, but he fine to me.
That's even better.
You say.
That's even better if he ugly to everybody else.
Because for me, like when I'm out, oh, that's me.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick beside him.
I ain't gotta say it. It's just that's you.
Because we're gonna be like this.
How did you know? How did you know? You saw the smile on my face. You saw the glowing.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can definitely tell when a person is treated right, and they got that person. It shows.
Baby, this is the month of love.
It is.
So I know I'm just playing.
I'm here. I'm here for it.
I'm here for love. I'm here for it.
I'm here for it.
I'm just playing with y'all. This is the month of love. It's gonna be we're gonna have a good month.
Yeah,
everybody gonna be in love this month.
It started off really good. Thank you so much again, Teddy, for coming by and promoting your book.
Yes,
directing your dreams. Everybody make sure they go on Amazon to get that, and then also his website as well.
Absolutely. Miles, have a safe trip. We will see you. Me and Chanie about to get out of here because we have bills to pay. It is the first of the month. Well, y'all know what it is.
Adulting.
I know, right? Thanks everybody for tapping in. Me and Chanie gonna be holding it down all this week. Yes. Miles won't be here, but he will definitely be here in spirit, and he's definitely gonna be listening in.
Yeah.
This is the month of love. Go out, hug someone, love someone, say what's up. Just smile. Just say hi. Be nice. Women.
Be approachable.
Just be. Thank you. Just smile. I mean, you ain't gotta talk to me. You gotta give me your number. Just hi. How you doing?
Yeah.
You might brighten that man's day.
You speaking to me. I need to do that because I be.
Just like, hi, how are you? You ain't listen.
I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna smile this week. I'm gonna let you know how it goes.
Listen, and ladies, go to the gym. Just walk in there.
It can help you in more than one way.
Okay, just walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes. Put your headphones on. Look like you focused. Put on your cute little leggings. Put your hair in a cute little ponytail. Don't be in makeup, please. But I will say.
Be running down your cheeks.
Just go to the gym. Your man is probably in there. So that's all I'm gonna say. Y'all, go love somebody. Go hug somebody. Thanks for tapping in, y'all. I will see you on Wednesday. Chanie will be back with y'all tomorrow.
Yes. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.
Hey, rise and grind for your daily news. Rise and grind, grinding just for you.